sounds have long attacks. So when you strike through an object, it doesn't go pink. It's not like hitting a piece of wood. It's instead is ooh, and so that can be confusing sometimes. StrongBear has designed visual feedback as well as haptic feedback. And StrongBear, why don't you describe that for a second before we play?
So like when you hit an object, it will start making sound, and sometimes it has fast attack. You could hear it immediately. Sometimes it's slow attack, so you need to wait for a little bit for the sound to coming up. But the visual and the haptic feedback is the way to tell you, okay, you already hit it. It start working. So yeah.
They sparkle, they flicker, they have like a rainbow of colors to know that you hit it. And you know the thing that I discovered while rehearsing this week's StrongBear though, and I think a lot of people have been having this problem. Do you know that when you grip an object, so you're going to see us grab an object and pull it closer to you. Get it close so I can strike it with the round part of our mallet. The mallet consists of, looks like a marimba mallet or a timpani mallet. It has a round head on it, but it also has a laser pointer coming out the end, so I can point at an object and use my joystick to bring the object close to me so I can strike it with the head of the mallet. Well, do you know, StrongBear, and you probably knew this, but I didn't, if you're holding an object, if you've gripped it, and you're striking it, it does not make a sound.
Uh-huh.
And maybe you knew that.
Yeah,
You're grabbing it and bringing it close to you, and you strike it, no sound. You got to let it go and then strike through it. It produces a sound.
I see.
So when you're
Yeah.
trying to bring objects close to you, and so I was doing, and I'm striking. I'm saying, oh, get rid of this object. It doesn't make sound. There's something wrong with it. It's broken. No, it's not broken. I'm broken. I was pulling it in, holding on to it, and so because I had it kind of muted, you could almost think that when you're pulling something to you, it doesn't exactly mute it if it's an object that's producing random sounds or whatever, or generatively, but you know, you've got to let it go if you want to strike it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Today, when we jam, I'll show you what I mean, okay? But I didn't know about that. So it's definitely something to tell new users that they all make sound, but if you're holding on to them, they probably won't.
Yeah, I didn't notice that because typically when I'm hitting or something, I don't like hold on to any button, so I didn't get into that problem. But yeah, some people might like grip it without like being aware about that.
Yeah. You pull it to you, and especially because you want to hold an object when you want to stretch it and make it louder. A lot of times I keep holding them, and then they're not making sound. So I'm notorious now. StrongBear is a drummer as well as a guitar player, has a drum kit there in his home. And so I think StrongBear always wants to use both hands to play sounds. I, trumpet player, one hand. Okay, so let's jam a little bit and make some sound for people. Now, should you tell the IP address or post it or tell it to Zio and others who might join us, the IP address?
Yep, so the IP address for today is 172.22.2.22, and I posted in the Zoom chat.
Good. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to tell my sharing to share what I'm casting and only what I'm casting. Now we're looking at my studio, and I'm going to back out a little bit, get my chair out of the way, stand up, and get ready to play with you. Here I am in the studio, which you can see. I'm getting ready for other performances as part of the keynote. And let me just test if we have sound. Can you hear that?
Yes, I could hear sound, but it's mono.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
love you.
let's take some
Hold
time
on.
to make it stereo so that people
Let's
could hear
see if I
the best.
can. Let me see if just by doing this it makes it stereo. How about now? Stereo?
I think so, but it's pretty
It's a hard
soft.
sound to tell.
It's pretty soft. Yeah, I think we got it.
Okay. Okay, good. So we have stereo. What you're seeing me do, if you're watching on the screen on the stream, is I'm pressing the A or X and Y button and randomly bringing up an object like bell tree, right, or dinosaur, or storm. I'm making them a little louder by pointing my laser pointer at them with my left hand, gripping it with the grip, and then stretching it out. And again, to play it, let it go. Right? Okay. And so now I'm kind of moving around my room so that I can walk around a virtual space. And we're just seeing my studio, but hey, someone has appeared. Strongbear. He's
Yeah.
over there. Hi, Strongbear.
Right, I can see you, and now I can see your username appear.
Nice. And the cool thing is, this is a new feature Strongbear added to the code this week, that whenever we're playing remotely with players, their name now appears over their mallets. So I could look around when I'm jamming with 8 or 10 or 11 students and say, see who's making what sound, who's playing, etc. Now,
Yeah,
it looks like maybe Zio has joined
yeah,
us.
CsoundMeta 512.
Yeah, that's
Every time I join, it force quit.
Okay,
okay.
so let's Dr.B, how about like you stop host and then start again and then wait for everyone join before we create any object?
You want me to essentially quit and restart the app, yes?
No, just go to multiplayer and stop host, then start host.
Yeah, I hear you. Multiplayer,
Yeah.
stop host,
Yeah, and
become host again. Okay, I'm host again.
yeah, I'm in. So Zio,
try again.
Yeah, I'm trying to join. Connecting to the app here.
Yep, there you are. Now wiggle your hands always when you come in, and then let's move out of each other's way. So we're not stepping on each other in the space. I've moved way over here. Zio, you're okay there. Strongbear. Okay. So the three of us are here. We're in my studio, which people are looking at as we're streaming. But in fact, if I wanted, I could push down the hamburger menu on my left hand, which brings up our menus. And I could choose world by pointing at it with my laser and using my right trigger button. You can see me looking at it right now, my trigger finger, boom, pointed at world. It's in pass-through mode. But instead, if I turn pass-through mode off, all of a sudden the three of us are under a pink sky, right? And we're up in the clouds, it's sunset, and we're still able to jam here. I'll bring up a sound like these chords. And now you're hearing this little kind of ambient generative chord progression, correct?
yeah,
And I could let me see if I'll bring something else up randomly here, a good one. This is copper, a little riser. I'm going to hand this sound over to Zio.
and in this
Just grab it.
and in this version, you notice the morphing is working much better. So like, as soon as you're touching it, the sound started to change because like he changed the shape of the core, and that was a bug before, and we didn't know.
So that's Zio now in New York playing the sound. Wait a minute, I want it. I'll bring it back to me and I'll hit it. Zio can't play it. No, I'll put it back. Here you go. I'm sorry. So the point of this is so exciting is we're able to play together. I think Strongbear just grabbed the sound, and now in Ohio, Strongbear's playing it, right? So let's add some chords. Notice I'm looking at this chord object right here. I just put it up in the clouds. It tells me what the sound is, but it's silver. Whenever an object is silver, it's silent. So to make it louder, I point at it, use my grip to grab it with my left hand, and then with the right hand, I point, grip, and stretch. Here come the chords, right? Now I can randomly, well, you know what's nice about those chords is that they kind of keep composing and playing. They're really not something to strike. Here's a bit of a drum machine. I'll give you some on there. Now, I'm going to make things a little softer so I can talk. As the host, I have master volume control. So these chords, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push on my Y button while pointing at them. And look, they've turned into a wanderer. And so now I'll make them a little louder, but I'll throw them and just let them fly all over the room, all over the cosmos. They will spatialize. We're doing spatial audio. Both Zio and Strongbear are playing a little. I'll turn up the volume, and I'll add another sound. Oh, blue, middle rip. All right, here you go. You know, another sound for you to mess around with. Wow. Listen to that sound fly around us. Wow. Now, let's bring up something else, this crackly mid-reverb sound. It's nice little crackling, almost like a rain noise. All right, I'll pass this over to you guys. Now, another really nice feature of CsoundMeta is I could take this blue rip sound and I could take this crackle sound. I can stack them on top of each other, and when I strike through them, it'll both crackle and boop, 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 boop. So you can layer sounds, literally laying them on top of each other. Right? Like a Russian doll. Now, I'm going to make things a little softer. Notice I brought up the menu. How did I do that? With the hamburger menu here in my left hand, I pushed in. It made a little click. There it is. So, first of all, I could pick a different world, huh? Let's go to this waves, these cliffs, sort of like marathon in a way, and or London night, or Krakow. Now we're premiering the piece in Krakow in November, so I thought I have to bring Krakow into the worlds to play with. So here I am choosing from whatever sort of virtual environment I might want, right? And you know, some old broken down factory, right? Or a beautiful up above the kind of canyon in the Midwest. I've chosen worlds. Let's get rid of those. Let's say instead I want to choose a different instrument. So what did I do? I brought up my menu, boom. I picked the instrument category, and I said, hey, I'd like maybe a classic. So maybe what I would like of these classics is maybe Karlheinz Stockhausen's Study 2. So this is Stockhausen's piece in Csound, Study 2. I'm going to make it a little louder so we hear it. Bring it in here. Sounds like everyone else is jamming so loudly I can't hear my instructions. Now, my guys are making a lot of noise, and so I think if I hold down my X key and as a host and AB, it kind of mutes everybody. So I can unmute us, boom, and here we come back. Maybe not. Where are we?
Yeah.
We can all make them louder by just stretching them again. Right, so I've gotten, what I'm doing here is playing you a little bit of Jean-Luc's piece, leaving these bells to play. Let's bring up that Stockhausen again. Here he is. Here's Stockhausen's piece. There it is. You hear? I'm not sure Stockhausen would like that I'm remixing. Good. Let's go right there. Nice. Now, the other thing that we can do, and we'll go to a more structured improvisation in a minute, but if I grab a sound like low rump, make it louder. It's this. You hear this low frequency rumble. This bell tree, or these crackles. Now, if the sounds start flying all over the place, I can bring them back to you by holding down A and X. So while they're flying, notice, here they come. And I can stop them in mid-flight by just pointing my right laser pointer at them. Right? Nice. Now, it's got a little crazy. Let's remove Stockhausen. Okay. And so how am I able to kind of remove objects? Well, you see there are these joysticks, right? That's how I'm pulling objects back to me. Well, what I can do is point at something, use my joystick to bring it close, use my joystick to send it far. When I've pointed at it, I've gripped it, see me grabbing it with my controller here, brought it close to me. Now I can strike it, right? With thrust, hit, growl, ooh, make it louder. Good. But let's say I would like to get rid of that sound. Boom. Looks like we might have just crashed. What do you think? I think we might have. Are you guys still here?
Yep.
This no sound is a.
I'm going to resume and see if the sound comes back. I don't think so.
I'm
I
hearing
think
a little bit of the sound, a little noise and the plugging sound. Boop, 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 boop.
nice. Yeah.
I hear no sound now.
Yeah, we lost it. I'm going to start again.
Mhm.
Now, ironically, I was showing you all how to turn sounds off. I think I've just found a new master button combination that really turns them off. Let me pick another kind of jam for us. And have you all join me. Now, oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Look at this thing here. I made it softer. You see this object in front of me? It's an orb called F-looper, drum loop, and it has all these little pills around it. You see that? Well, each of these is another preset. This is called a palette in our program, and it allows you to group a group of sounds that you might like to use in a composition and relate to each other. So when I have a palette like this selected, I can point at any of the pills and it'll change to a different drum loop. You hear the new drum loop? Right? Let me pick drum loop 6. Drum loop 6A. So I'm pointing at them with my trigger, boom, and changing drum loops. But also, a moment ago I showed you all that I could randomly start a new orb, just pick one at random with X and Y. Right, let me just pick an orb. Oh, it's rust, high flapping, whatever that sounds like. Oh, there it is, nice sound, I'll leave it there. Maybe Zio will play it in a minute. Now, if I press A and B normally, just in midair, when I point at an object, it just randomly changes it to something else, like fire, right? So, and I'm going to point again, and it's going to just pick another random version of this object. So this, sort of, we could call it a swap. Swap objects, swap randomly objects, A and B, if I point at it. Nice. But, right, there's a good one. Well, that'll be a good one to play with later. Now, what I wanted to show you was this. With F-looper, when if I have a palette, if I use A and B, it randomly picks or sequentially picks the elements in the palette. So you could set up in your composition a group of presets that you want players to play and tell them, okay, if there's a palette, randomly choose, and that'll still allow you to have the structure in the piece, that they're all related drum grooves or related risers or related chord generators or whatever. And so I just want to show you that these palettes are pretty powerful when kind of structuring an improvisation or composing. So, let's jam out here for a little bit. I'd like that original drum groove again. What was it? Let's see. Okay, here's a funny groove. We'll keep it going. Now, oh, the other thing we could do, I like this groove in this drum machine, if you will, or drum collection. Imagine if I point at the object and push just the X key. Look what happened. You see all these little balls that appear? These are like the objects menu. And so I could say clone this object. Oh, look, it made a clone. So now I could say this clone should play drum loop 3, but this clone should play drum loop 2. Now I'm creating these kind of complicated, we've got too many drummers in the band situation. A jam session with all drummers, all playing their own beats, but kind of nice. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying clone and pick a different pattern. Now things are flying. How do I stop them or slow them down? I push A and X, have them come to me, and as they are, sort of get them, catch them, slow them down, put them back, etc. Okay? All right. Now, I don't see you guys joining me right now. Have I broken everything?
It kicked me out, and
Well, okay. That's not good. So let me quit and get back with all of you. Why don't we stop for a second? Or you know what I'd like to do just for one more minute is maybe not talk, pick up one of the improvisations, and let us all just try to improvise together and make a nice little moment, okay? So no more tutorial. Dr.B in quiet mode, mute. And I'll launch one of the kind of structured improvisations starters that I've created, and we'll try to improvise a little bit in a musical way. I am now the host. I will wait for you to join.
is it connecting?
Someone has joined me.
Yeah, I'm joining you. Oh, we have CsoundMeta Bear. Who's that?
That's Evelyn.
Evelyn. Cool.
Hi, Evelyn.
Hi. Hey,
Welcome. Yes. Now, Evelyn is playing with us from Palo Alto, I believe. Are you in San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah.
Wow. Good. So welcome. Now, we're just going to improvise in a moment, so it's nice to have you here. And let's see if Strongbear is here. I'm moving around. So
I was able to get in a little bit, and then it kicked me out again.
Okay, let's see if you can get in. Oh, someone else has joined.
Yeah, it's me.
Good. There you are. Good. So Strongbear, you see what I'm thinking about the mallets? I'm thinking we might really make them both, about this big here, medium size, and standardize them when someone starts.
Okay, I'm gonna switch headset, and hopefully it will fix it.
Okay.
Not sure.
Zach, hi, Zio.
I
Okay. And so Evelyn, Zio, we're going to wait for Strongbear, or maybe not. Strongbear will join us. I'm going to pick a movement. And what I'm going to pick is...
I think I've tried to create a movement, like very simple one.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let me pick... Let's pick 3 drum pals, Huff Pal Plus. Boom. And see what happens. Here they come. Now, there are pallets, right? So you guys have all just learned how pallets let you do presets. Don't pick any other menus. Play with these sounds, Evelyn. So what we're trying to do is pull a sound to me or a palette to me so I can play it. Hopefully you know how to grab things with your joysticks. Someone has created an object maybe, or maybe not. Okay.
Only
So you can only play it when you strike it, right? Okay. Now, there you go. I put it in your hands there, Evelyn. Evelyn, do you know how to use your joystick yet to bring an object to you? There you go. Okay, well, it'll only play when you push your mallet head through it, right? There you go. I've changed the improvisation a bit. You have to bring objects to you, and I'll put us out of pass-through mode back in in the clouds. Oh, listen. I love that little blippy thing. Now, first of all, if we're improvising, yeah, I want to grab it and bring it to me so I can see what the sound is doing. I point at it, I use my grip, it instantly comes close. This is ocean. Oh, wow. I just made it louder or softer, right? What's this guy? Boom, bring it to me. Rust. Strike through it. Oh, this nice sizzle sound. Okay. Maybe make it a little softer. How do I do that? Send it over. All right. Let me see what this sound is. Oh, gamelan. Boom. And it's a palette. So if I wanted, I could switch it to ocean or whatever. All right. What's this sound? Boom. Ah, sine cloud. Nice chords. So what I'm going to do is send those flying around. This is a composition by Pimon Khosravi called Particle. I'm going to just fly that around. Someone has made the rumble very loud. Good. Nice. Who's that? Nice. Now, the other thing to remind you all of is when you connect with a patch cord, you can then often use the A and B buttons to trigger a sound even if it's far away. So I've connected to this with a patch cord. How did I do it? I did it by grip and trigger. So grip and trigger, I connected with a patch cord, and now I can play this sound even without putting my mallet through it. Let's do that with gamelan. So every time now, oh, looks like I just crashed us. Hello?
Yeah, it's get crashed.
Okay, we'll start again.
Probably because of me trying to join, then crash everyone. Sorry.
Is it you who keeps crashing us?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, now you wrote the program, right? So you have the power, and I think you're showing us what that power means. You think you're playing without me? Boom. Okay, Zio's back. Evelyn's back. I'm back.
Could you remind me what the IP is today on ZeroTier?
172.22.2.22.
Oh, so Emery has joined us. Hi, Emery.
What's up? Hi. Two.
We're getting ready to do a mic test later on.
Oh, cool. 172.22.22.
2.22.
Thanks. Sorry, I just didn't see it anywhere. I think I got it now. Thanks.
So basically, I try to make all the three first numbers the same and only the last one change.
Cool.
Mgore is in.
I think
Mgore is gone.
I just crashed, which is funny, but I got the newest update, so I don't.
Good. We're waiting for you. We'll see if you and Strongbear can join. Someone has just joined.
That sucks.
It keep pushing me out. I don't know why.
Yeah, I keep crashing when I try to join.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that host trick. I'm gonna stop being host, and then I'm gonna be host again. And let's hold on a second. Now let's see if people can join without crashing. Evelyn's back. Strong Bear is back.
Yeah, but it's
Is
frozen,
back.
so I'm not sure if I could hold it. Is it like okay? Looks like it works
We're
game.
waiting for Emery to come back.
Yeah.
I'm restarting right now. Hopefully it.
Okay. Yeah. So just wait for Emery, and then let's not make any object for now.
Okay, yeah, I think it's working now.
Yeah, I
Emery's
see
back. Okay.
or
Hold on, everyone. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a movement.
just wait a little bit for it to be stable. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, look at Evelyn started Evelyn Groove right there. Very good. Evelyn, every time you join us, you spell your first name differently. I like that. Sometimes there's an E at the end of Evelyn. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes,
Sometimes only Eve.
there you go. Very mysterious. I like them all. Now, let's try. Are we ready to try something?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is 4 Rust with some pals and melodics. So,
Cool.
melodic instruments. So let's all kind of move a little bit so we're out of each other's space a little, right? So you have a little more room in the space. All of you should know how to grab things. All of you should know how to make them louder. And these rusts, I think, play kind of melodic things. So very subtly now we could do a 6-part fugue, rust high, sigh, and notice that they're pallets and they all have like a kind of melodic component to it. So let's try to, there you go, play melodically. I'm going to just listen to what you guys come up with. I added a chord progression to this. In one of my new castles. Nice. You guys are making nice music. Ooh, nice. Now, for those of you tuning in on the stream, Emery's playing from Boston. CsoundMeta Bear, Evelyn, is playing from Palo Alto. Zio is playing from New York State. And Strongbear is playing from Lakewood, Ohio. And I'm here from near Providence, outside of Boston. Nice. And it seems like Emery is fine-tuning his palette, which is good, making it more of a repeating instrument. Nice. I'm going to pick another movement for us. To jam in. Nice. Cool. By the way, Evelyn, we just learned that if you're holding an object, it won't make a sound. So you have to release holding it and then strike through it, and it'll produce sound. See the difference?
There you
Your
go.
little bubbles are going crazy. I used to like to hold them too, but then I realized this feature. I'm going to put it back in your hands. There you go. So you have to not be holding them to make them make sound. Very nice. Beautiful what you guys are doing. Nice. I want to remind all of you that if you grab an object that's making a sound, you can move it around spatially, all around your head, while it's producing the sound, and do all kinds of panning. Strongbear is showing off with patch chords. Notice the beautiful crescendos and filter sweeps, right? Nice. Gorgeous. Right. Get a sound, pull it to you. Let's just let that one fly, Emery, and have you grab another one. Uh-oh. What's that? What's this?
Where Geo got kicked out for some reason. I don't see Geo.
Disappeared. Okay.
Sorry, my headset is dead.
Oh.
Ah. Little melodic instrument, right? And by the way, if I connect a patch cord to this instrument, I could just be playing the melody from remotely. Nice. The other thing that I forgot to tell all of you who are watching is that whenever you are not connected with patch cords, but you sweep through an object with your stick, it's doing all kinds of real-time control. Objects sound different even if you turn them around and play from the backside, or play from the top, or play from the bottom. And so as I move my sticks through this gamelan thing, warping it all over the place. Alright? I'll make it softer now. But I just wanted to show you that the objects can be manipulated by sweeping through them and stretching them and molding them like a piece of sound clay. Alright? And sometimes, if I hook my patch cords to it, the patch cords will do that too. Alright? So, okay. I think we've been having too much fun. I'm going to the silence preset, and I'm going to pass through now and, stop for a second and see if we have any questions, feedback, or anything like that. I'm going to quit. And so, wait, let me check my battery. What have I got left? 31%. Oops, not very much either. In this headset, we might change host in a bit to rehearse the performance. So let me stop sharing. Hi, everyone. Dunk. And go back to answer some questions. And thank you, Evelyn, for making starting to make movements and starting to make things like that, and maybe even structure them into a composition. I'd love to challenge each of you to do that a little bit, try to tell a story. That will be great. So Tyler's here joining us and enjoying this, and Tyler will be joining us again live performing next week. So welcome, Tyler, and I'm happy you're here, and we're sending you all of our best. Let me ask you, where did my camera go? Oh, Strongbear, are there any questions or anything come in on the live stream or in our chats?
I don't see any question now on the live stream, but like earlier you mentioned Randy Rose had problem with ZeroTier.
Yes. So what we thought we would try to do right now, and maybe Strongbear will take you through it, is a small kind of technical setup demo on how you would use or set your headset to support the ZeroTier APK. And once ZeroTier is supported, Um, you can then join, as you're seeing Emery and Zio and Evelyn do, you can join remotely into jam sessions or even host your own jam session. So, um,
Yeah.
so what we want to do now is have Strongbear teach you how to set up the process of downloading and setting up ZeroTier. Once you've got CsoundMeta installed, you really are wanting to be able to invite friends to jam with you. And so we'll have Strongbear take you through that process right now. What do you think, Strongbear? Take it
I
away.
think so. So on our Discord channel, I'm in the Discord server. There's a channel called Install, Learn, and Update, where you will find like installation guide, tutorials, and all the updates will be posted here. So at the very top of the channel, you will find the installation guide. It's a Google Doc. And so the Google Docs will show you like how to install CsoundMeta, and below we have the multiplayer setup. And for multiplayer setup, we'll need like ZeroTier. So ZeroTier is like a VPN, so that we don't need any server. It will be like peer-to-peer, kind of self-hosted. That way we don't need a server, but we still be able to play together online. So we'll need ZeroTier first, and then we'll need another one like called MetaQuest Developer Hub. So MetaQuest Developer Hub is for you to siloed the ZeroTier into your request. Siloading meaning you install an APK without going to the Meta App Store and find it, because basically ZeroTier is not available on the Meta App Store. It is an Android app, so basically it runs on your phone, but because the Quest is also an Android, is running on Android, so that's how we could install ZeroTier onto our Quest. And if we follow this link, download.zerotier.com/dist, we'll find several distribution of the ZeroTier, and the one we care about is the ZeroTier1.apk. So APK, I think it stands for Android package something. So APK is for Android, and Android's app could be installed on the Quest. So that's the one we wanna download. And once we have the MetaQuest Developer Hub, and then we enable the developer mode on our Quest, we could just simply like drag the APK onto MetaQuest Developer Hub. Given your Quest is already plugged in into into your computer, so like for example, I plugged in my headset, and it shows up like MetaQuest Pro here, and thus with that we can just simply drag the APK in. So ZeroTier APK, let me find it. So after we download, we have the ZeroTier1 APK in, let's say, in the download folder here. I got the APK here. I could just drag it, and when you drag into MetaQuest Developer Hub, there will be two boxes, and you want to drag it to the right boxes, which say like connected device, whatever device you connect to. Then just release, and it will start installing. Once it's installed, it will have under apps, it will have like a green sticker next to it. From here, we could launch the app by clicking on the three dots next to the app, and then launch app. I'm going to cast my screen so that you will see what ZeroTier look like. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. ZeroTier is the 2D application. It's white and with a yellow top here. It says ZeroTier 1. And in order to join us, you will need to join a strongbear network with a specific network ID. And that network ID you could find in the Google Docs. So in here, it says you need to join this ZeroTier network ID. And the way you do it is go to Add Network, and at the top where it say network ID with 16 hex characters. Well, I need to show my screen right here. So again, go to ZeroTier, Add Network ID, and there's 16 hex characters. That's where you want to enter the network ID from the document. So it's E39 something.
E318DB48373F50B.
Yep, you'll find it.
The point is you need to type in all of those numbers, and then mysteriously it doesn't show up okay, how do I add it? Because their dialog box is there it is. So you've got to use your joystick to scroll up a little bit, and then you see the word add.
Right. At the very bottom of the page here, there's a button, add. And yeah.
And that gets everyone, because everyone starts to join, and it's I typed in the ID, what happened? And it's well, scroll up, say add.
Yeah.
And then once you've added, the ZeroTier will change its name, right? ZeroTier then says strongbear is connected. You've connected to strongbear. And then when you turn that on, you can join us remotely.
Yeah, and it will say it's connected to this network. Turn into green, and there you go. We're ready to jam.
And we're ready to jam. So that's the process. And I think, like I said, where one would get stuck is, to review the steps, right? You connect USB cable to your Mac and your headset. You launch MetaQuest Developer Hub. You select the devices at the top. You make sure your device is connected. If not, you have to add device to MetaQuest Developer Hub. You probably have to say allow USB connection inside the headset sometimes, but once connected, you'll have the option to add software by just dropping it or side loading it in, literally dragging it in the side of the app and put it on the right side, put it on the headset, drag it on, and make sure you're dragging the APK, the latest ZeroTier 1 APK. All the links are in our Discord. Dragged it, it installed it, but then you need to launch it and set it up. And so you can either launch, as Strongbear said, from MQDH, or you can launch from within your headset. And basically launching in there, you go to the library. On the left, you're going to see a folder with a question mark, unknown sources. I don't know about who they are. There's ZeroTier. Turn it on. Now it's running, but you're not connected to anything until you type in our ID, those 16 characters. Once you get our ID and you add us, it then connects you to our network and allows you to jam with our app.
Yeah, exactly. And in the installation guide, we have put other documents in there, and there's a link to a multiplayer instruction. There will be more detail into the multiplayer aspect. If you open that, then there will be more into it, whether we play remotely, like what we were just doing, when people from different city, different physical location, and then we have a co-locations option where we stay in the same room. Now we in the same room, we want to see each other at like matching the virtual things and the real thing match their location in the exact location. Then we should follow this co-location method. And then
they're two separate worlds, two separate protocols, if you will. When you're playing remotely, that's all ZeroTier and all this. When you're playing locally, your friends are over, they have quests, you've installed CsoundMeta, or when I play with my students at Berkeley, or when we play in the keynote at David Friend Recital Hall on June 11th, I'll be setting up both remote so that Tyler can join from Paris and join us on stage, but I'll also be setting a local anchor, sharing an anchor and letting people co-locate right in the hall where many of my students will be playing with us from the same room. And it's totally a different set of steps. So if you have a few quests or a friend with one and you want to install CsoundMeta on more than one device and have a little jam session at your studio or in your classroom, then you're going to need to read these instructions on how to do co-location.
Yeah. Then the third option is like a mixed, which means we have people in the same room co-locating the same room and then people playing remotely. So yeah, we want people to be co-located first and then people like join remotely will join last.
Aha, right. Yeah. I kind of forgot that.
And another tip for co-location outdoor. This is going to be fun. Like when we play in the park, like outside, like on the ocean. Yeah, that's going to be much more fun than just playing in a room.
Some of this, I've included some photos, and one of the nicest things, I will tell you all a little story. Strongbear was my student at Berkeley, and it's how this project began, related to Strongbear's thesis work and research. And Strongbear had already been working with Unity and developing apps in Unity, audio apps, and then Csound Unity came into the game and kind of game changer for the Csound community. But on his last day in Boston, Strongbear had graduated and was moving to Ohio. We spent a day at the beach and in a park right near a beach in Hingham. And we set up, no boundaries. And, his children were playing with us, his daughters. And he and I were playing, and we had orbs in the trees. We had orbs flying into the traffic, and you don't want to chase your orbs in traffic. But it was really fun, and I just thought it was a beautiful experience to play with children outdoors in pass-through mode while looking at the trees and the flowers and the ocean. It was really a beautiful experience. And we've done a little of this around Berkeley too, out in front of Berkeley and in the hallways at the Berkeley College of Music. So we've had some fun wandering around the streets of Boston jamming, but also just out in the park. It was beautiful. And again, as Strongbear has pointed out, there are separate settings you would want to do to turn off the boundaries so you can be outdoors.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, like playing in the park, and then we let the orbs and wanderer like flying like to the over the street, to the sky and far away, and then we pull them back, and then and they collided into each other and bumps out again. That was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. And what was really remarkable about it was, of course, there were other people in the park.
Yeah.
some senior citizens and some young people. And I will tell you that the senior citizens thought we had ruined childhood. Oh, children should play outdoors, and now they're playing with these headsets, and children will never have fun anymore. And so they were very worried that we had ruined childhood. And I think, in fact, as Strongbear will tell you, that we're finding that children and seniors, especially like playing in the metaverse, because they're not so worried about playing to a grid and playing to a beat, and they're having more fun just with sound. And so it's kind of like finger painting in kindergarten. I think you're happy to just play with the paint. And so it's kind of exciting for children to just play with sound and in the metaverse. And so our best beta testers are Strongbear's two daughters. Strongbear, you might tell a tiny story about how that helped you modify the code, because they kept creating hundreds of orbs, and
Yeah.
maybe you will share a little of that story as the early beta testers became active with the app.
Because the way they interact with the app is like totally different from us. It would create things that so for example, they would create like a hundreds of objects at the same time. They arrange them into kind of I don't know, like a kind of matrix, or like a so yeah. And then it's pretty interesting. Like it's more like they do it like more like a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, it's really the true spirit of play.
Yeah, right.
Just kind of exploring and playing, and that's a bit of the spirit of this. My colleague Randy Roos has joined us, and Randy, we just went through the steps of how to set up completely, step by step, to do remote. And so you might have missed that segment. You might have just joined, but you will be able to go back and watch us go through those steps for adding remote capability in the video. I don't mind quickly doing it again if Strongbear would like, because Randy is here and has CsoundMeta working. So it's up to you, Strongbear, if you'd like to take Randy through it and get it going.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So yeah.
Randy, are you ready to get your remote going right now, or do you want him to just go through the steps, which you'll watch later, or do you want to set it up and then jam with us? What would you like to do?
Well, I'm probably not up to speed enough to jam. Do I need to have my headset available to go through the steps?
All that, yes.
Yes. So in the installation guide, we have the one section for the multiplayer setup, as you can see on my screen right now. I'm not sure like where you at the steps here.
Yeah, I'm probably way behind everything.
Okay, I wouldn't worry. I think pressuring to try to do it with us right now, and we're happy to do it with you one-on-one offline, off the session. But what I would love you to try, Randy, because you were so successful at getting CsoundMeta set up on your own, just following the instructions. If you come back to this video later today or tomorrow when we put it up at Discord, you're going to find the last 10 minutes step you through it exactly with whatever the pitfalls are. You might try that in the next couple of days. If it flies, then you can jam with us next Friday. If it doesn't fly, then we will make a time during the week where you and I just Zoom and set it up.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think knowing how successful you've already been with CsoundMeta, which is a task, just getting it going, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to get it going. From what we just showed.
Okay. Do I need to have developer status happening to do this?
Well, you needed to have developer on to install CsoundMeta.
Yeah, I don't really understand what happened with that because I felt as if I never got the developer thing happening, but maybe I did.
You had
Enough
to,
get
because it
it.
would not
Okay.
have installed it if you didn't turn it on. All
Okay.
it means is you just turn it on, which I think you were able to do.
Okay. If I guess so. So yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
if-
that's great. I'll go through the video
And I'm not even sure you need developer status on to install ZeroTier.
okay.
Yes, you do need.
You do even for that? Okay.
Yeah, you do need a developer mode turned on for your headset so that, and then you need a cable to connect your Quest to the computer, then install ZeroTier through MetaQuest Developer Hub.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to check everything out and see if I can get it happening, but I will.
That's. I think the smartest move would be to try first, especially with what we just showed, and then, like I said, if it doesn't fly, we'll absolutely get together with you at a convenient time and make sure it flies.
Cool. Yeah, sorry I'm so late today. I had a mixing editing session that went later.
No, fantastic. All good. All good. All good. And we were happy to show it because you're not the only person. That the whole thing, you go through all the steps, Randy, and I did it myself and got stuck dozens of times because when you set up ZeroTier and you've typed in the IP and then you say, and you shut it and it says, oh, now it doesn't, because you've got to scroll up the app to find the little add button. And it's like hidden. It's like illogical that, okay, I typed everything. Where's the button to say good, submit, or okay? And it turns out it's off the screen. And so you have to use your joystick on your controller to go up, and then you see the add button. And I must have spent 2 days. What am I doing wrong? And it was because I never found the button. So we at least showed you that too in the video here. And so I think you're going to be able to get it, but we'll help you if not.
Cool. Thank you.
You bet.
Ooh.
You bet. Well, what I would like to do now, if Emery is here, and Emery, I saw you checking out with your trumpet that I put together a movement. Did you see Mike study? A composition called Mike Study.
I haven't seen that. I can check
Okay.
it out.
Well, look under my composition. You're going to find Mike Study. Well, in fact, what I'm going to do now is I'd like to bring up Mike Study and run it to show some of the processing. I created a kind of Jacob Collier suite of presets that go through different harmonizers, different loopers, and it just takes you through 4 worlds of preset combinations. And I thought I would do that to show the combination. But then what would be nice, Emery, would be for you to play along with me on the horn. I'll be doing some singing or humming, and you could be doing a little playing. I do want us to work on this for the keynote. So we'll work on something special related to live mic. But I put this movement in, and it's kind of nice that it just gives you a chance to go through some effects. Even Strongbear could join, and we can mutually share. And then you could be playing a little horn. We'll pick you up. Okay? So
Yeah,
I'm going to
so
put my
I'm
headset.
seeing it.
I'm going to put my, I want to mute you because I'm getting an echo. I'm going to put my headset back on. I've been charging it, Strongbear, so I'm going to have to connect or re-share, but hopefully all that'll go smoothly. And then we can, what I'd like to do is try the mics, and then I would like to do a small rehearsal of the Boston version of Csound Dreams, hopefully with Zio and Evelyn, if they're still around, or maybe even Bethany will join. As a side note for all of you watching and listening, last week, Bethany was jamming with us from Amtrak. So while she was on the train from New York to Boston, she was jamming with us. And she said, you know, everyone in the car was like, what are you doing? And can I try? And so everyone wanted to kind of get in on the session. So I think what we're going to have to do is all get our headsets and take a trip to New York and just be letting people all play in the subway with us or in the train car as we make music between Boston and New York at some point. It's a different version of Steve Reich's Different Trains, but we'll try to do that someday too. So I've got my headset back on. I'm saying allow so that it knows I'm connected to USB. I'm going to MetaQuest Developer Hub. It's sharing. I'm unmuting, I hope. It looks like it's shared pretty small. So I'm going to go to MetaQuest Developer Hub again and stop sharing or casting. I'm going to tell it to cast again so it gives me the full size screen. Here it goes. It's connecting. Come on. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to tell it to unmute. So hopefully we have audio. I'm going to, in Zoom, I'm going to tell Zoom to share, if I could see that. Hang on. My menu bar is hiding it. Let's try to point that over there. Good. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen again. Strongbear, I think I've shared.
Yeah.
And the question is whether I'm in stereo or not. I'm sharing just the cast. Let me bring up a sound and see if it's in stereo. Okay, hold on. I'll turn my ZeroTier on, and let me see if I can even show that to you. So as you see, my ZeroTier is on. I'm connected to the strongbear network. I've turned it on, so I can close it. I'm now going to center my controls, and I'm going to launch CsoundMeta. It is now saying made with Unity. I'm the host, which I've selected. And now CsoundMeta is running in pass-through mode. You see my mallets. I'm bringing up an object called chord, mostly glitch. I don't hear it.
I don't hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check your master volume.
Yeah, I'm going to check my master volume. I'm going to try a different sound. There
Yeah,
you go.
perfect.
Is this stereo?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So, and it looks like Emery just joined me. Isn't it nice? This is a new feature of the software that now everyone who joins, their name appears above their controllers. So I see who is playing and who is joining. Okay. I'm going to use my joystick and press it down to delete these objects. I'm going to move out in my space a little bit, so I'm going to stand up, but I guess I'm going to let you see my studio here a bit, get my chair out of the way, and move into my kind of rehearsal performance space here. Now, Strongbear looks like Strongbear is here, but maybe Strongbear just got bounced out.
Yeah, it kicked me out. So I think once the host started a sound, then the client won't join.
Okay, so do you want me to reshare host under multiplayer?
Yeah, like stop host and start host again,
stop
and
host.
then everybody could
Host.
join you, and then
I'm now host again. Okay, let's see who's here. Emery is still here, and Strongbear is here. Okay. So
it's frozen a little bit for me. Yeah, now I can move. Okay, play is working.
And the question is we're sharing the screen and the sound, yes?
Yeah.
Just for fun, for a moment, I'm going to just start a jam again, a different one maybe, just for us to make a little sound, and then we'll switch to the mic test. Let's try chord, 3 drums, pal, or sizzle. Let's try this thing here. Now what we're looking for is the objects. They're all out here. You might bring them in, pull them close to you, and play them. I'll turn the volume down just a little bit. Get rid of that object. And it looks like someone else has, no, that's Strongbear. I don't know if Evelyn is still here or if Zio is back, but maybe Zio's unit has charged. Okay.
I'm trying to connect.
Okay. We'll see if you can.
Still charging the headset.
Welcome back. I'll put us in a world. I'll turn pass-through off. Boom. Now we're above the clouds.
Probably like Evelyn is not able to join. Oh, so I could see Evelyn here.
So
and it's frozen for a little bit.
It's like it's off, but
Yeah, so I think whoever joined late after a sound is created gonna be kicked out.
right.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to fix that for next week. But what we're going to do right now is have me stop being host and start being host again and have you all join now with no sound. Strongbear is here. Evelyn is here. Always nice to wave your hands, make sure they work, and then point them down. Good etiquette. Let's see if Emery is here. Good. And Zio, where are you?
I'm trying to join. Wait.
He can still kick me out. Because of the network or reason I don't know.
Or you just have no juice in your setup right now.
Okay, I'm in.
Good. Okay. So there is Zio.
Yo.
Zio, wiggle your hands. Wave your hands up and down. There you go. Okay. So let's just try a little jam again for a second, and then we'll play with the mic study for a second. So I'm going to pick a movement. Oh, you know what I'm going to pick is this guy, because it's pretty fun. Okay. Hang on. Let me create a world for us. Okay. This is one of Sam Marston's generative, groovy, jazzy examples. Take it easy with the sound effects. Let's let the groove set up first. Nice. Now we can add some things. Uh-oh. Everyone's attacking me. It won't trigger until you put it under your hands, see how? There you go. Now it's playing, right? Whose groove is this? Wow. Someone loaded in Alexander tapes, not tape. Okay, let's try silence. Come on, you. There you go. Goodbye to everyone. So let's try the mic study for a second, okay? So I'm going to choose my composition. And under compositions, you'll see that I have a mic study. Now, this means that all of your microphones will work. I don't know who's waving their hand around. Strongbear, how are you doing? Okay, so under mic study, I want you all to try this at home, but each of your microphone collections will work so you can sing along or hum or talk into it. In the master output, which is mostly what we're listening to, which is either Strongbear or me, only ours will go to the stream, but all of yours will play in your own headsets. And in fact, I'm not sure you're going to hear what I'm singing right now. In the future, you will. But right now, let's go to mic study. I'm going to start it. And here's the kind of small composition, a tribute to Jacob Collier. Ooh, So you should all try singing or humming or playing your trumpet. Next setup. Now I'm going to stop it for a second so I can talk to you about how I set that up so you can enjoy it. It's not so much a jam like trigger the mics, but it really is talk into them. You can make the effects louder or softer right now. You could hook up patch cords and try doing some of the internal connections I've made, but mostly it's for you to talk or sing with the different settings and have it harmonize, auto-tune, correct, things like that. So, and I've left a few orbs floating around that will give us some backing chords or a backing ambience or texture. But that's a little bit of how I designed this. So I'm imagining Emery might just play some trumpet and see what happens with all the chords. I'm imagining each of you might talk or whisper or sing or hold long tones and watch what happens, so making a choir or a chorale, okay? So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start the movement again. Now you at least understand a little bit more of kind of how I had set it up, right? So here goes mic study. Oh, someone has some unmuted.
This is a reverse. Gonna be
Hello. What? 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 I said no. No. No.
Yes.
What?
Please.
Right. So you get the idea. You get the idea. Okay? So all of you can kind of play with that a little bit, or even set up your own mic studies and kind of play with that a little bit. Okay? Now, let's check on our time. We have just enough time to play the piece once. So I'd really love us to try playing the new Boston version of Csound in the Csound Dreams in the Metaverse. So would you like to try that, everyone? We're all here. Okay. So let me bring up the piece. Now, what I want to remind you of is this. Don't create new objects. Play what's there. Also, listen first, then play. You'll find a section in movement 3 gets crazy and busy. Well, get crazy there. But mostly, let's try to be very subtle, very minimal, and maybe let me begin, and also let me pass the sound to Strongbear. I'll start passing you sounds. All your mallets should be pointed down when you're not playing. Okay, so let me bring up the movement, the composition, the new version of Boston ICMC, shorter version 2. Here we go. Hands down, pointers down, beginning of next movement. Pointers back up. Melodic movement. That's right. Pointers down. When it gets dark, it's the end of a movement. Third movement. Let the groove happen. Don't play. Let the groove happen first. Now start to play. Evelyn, we don't need dance moves. But it's a good idea. Things get a little crazier here, which is good. Even crazy. So hands down, chilling out. Go to watcher mode, where you push in both joysticks. And, that's kind of a little shorter version of the piece, right? I'm going to be adjusting things and fixing things a bit more, but thank you. So next week we'll start sooner with the piece, and we might even have a rehearsal before that, where I will fill you in a little more on kind of the story and the idea. But I think you're seeing it kind of flow. You're seeing the kind of movements end with a black screen. I fade at those points. What we're going to fix this week is we're going to be able to go in and out of watcher mode. And so basically, you'll all start as watchers, and just Bear and I will be the first two making sounds. And then one by one, you'll kind of appear. You always want to be not waving your lasers all over the place, but pointing them down. And when you're not playing, you'll want to be in watcher mode, which is pushing both joysticks in or out. And then things get super crazy in the third movement. They mellow a bit. They then get even crazier. And then finally we're thrown out into maybe a colony somewhere that is saved after the post-apocalyptic kind of destruction of New York City or whatever. And so there's kind of that mellow out, a little bit of a recap of some of the sounds. It's a little bit of the kind of story, the arc of the story that that I'm telling. But we'll work on that a little more next week. We have 6 minutes left to today's meeting. I wanted to see if there were any questions or closing thoughts or ideas that you would like to bring forward or share. I want to thank my students for being here today and playing a little bit. Thank you, Evelyn. Evelyn, I think we're going to have to do a jam that involves choreography. I agree that we're going to have to work out a gung, 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 so that's coming. We'll add some more drum loops and get one going. That would be very fun to do in the keynote, actually. To throw up a drum groove and have the sticks all doing something like that would be fun. So we're doing it. Okay, go. And so thank you for that idea. And all of you should try composing and structuring saving some movements, some combinations of objects, even saving a little draft composition now under your own name. That would be good. Even your Emory MGORs, now if you resave them, you will be able to save under your own name, not under unknown. So if you open up one of your MGORs and save it again, it will now save under your actual name, and we can delete the unknown, okay? Are there any questions or anything we need to address? And Strongbear, let's end with some closing comments from you. But thank you, everyone, for playing, and thank you, everyone, for joining. Strongbear.
Yeah, all good. So I saw a couple of sound effects that you put in. So whenever I saw them, I start singing or making like whistling or make some kind of sound effects, like a noise or like a windy sound. That's fine. So yeah, like for Evelyn and Emery and Zio and one, if you play enough, you will start to recognize which one is the the vocal effects, and based on the name, you could tell. Like for example, Verb is absolutely like a accent. Yeah.
Maybe we could change the shape of the effects, Strongbear, so that they're all triangular or squares instead of circles or something. I don't know. The object, so that they would be a little more recognizable, might be worth considering. Something easy that could differentiate them a little bit. But for all of you, you need to call up movements and practice a little bit, just playing with them to start to get to know some of the sounds in the collection. And also, again, learning some of the shortcuts to, grab them quickly, to shape them. Just in the last 2 days, I discovered, and I was sharing this with Strongbear, and I think I shared it at the beginning of our talk, that when I was grabbing an object and pulling it close to me, it wasn't making a sound because I was holding on to it. And so when you pull an object next to you, you actually have to let it go and strike through it before it will make a sound. So always we're holding them to make them louder, but then if you really want to hear it, you got to let it go and then hit it. So I didn't realize that. I just thought some of my instruments were broken. And it really was, I have to learn how to play the system better. So again, thank you all for joining us today. I hope that you'll all play the piece on your own a few times, the Boston shorter versions, and I'll be continuing to kind of fix that and tweak it and improve it so that we have more room. The degree to which you get to know the piece is the degree to, or the world, the sounds in it are the degree to which you'll be a more effective player, right? So I would love you to, run it a few times and really get to know the sounds, the objects. When you're playing the piece, we are creating new modes, Strongbear and I, that allow you in a composition not to open an editor screen or not to open create new objects. So you shouldn't be creating new objects or going to editors when you're in the composition. You can connect patch chords, absolutely. But creating new objects, changing objects. For instance, someone changed one of the objects without realizing it. They pointed at a ambient sound noise object in the first movement and hit, what did they hit? A and B, and changed it to someone's composition. And so that would have ruined the piece or what we were doing. So you need to, we'll make sure that those are what we're going to be calling composition mode, or concert mode and jam mode, and things like that. So the host will be able to turn on concert mode or jam mode, and that will prevent players from accidentally changing things that would change the context, or have us all of a sudden playing in the wrong key or playing in the wrong the wrong sound world, or even creating worlds. So we're going to work on that this week, I think. But for now, I just want to thank you all for joining today, and look forward to seeing you all again on the live stream on Friday of next week. We're getting close to the ICMC, which is part of what this is all in preparation for. But we're hoping that those of you who are joining or even watching later on from Discord recordings, welcome. Get into Csound in the metaverse, and please enjoy the brilliant code and possibilities, musical, creative, and just playful, that Strongbear has created in the CsoundMeta app. And just thank you very much for joining us. Strongbear?
Yep. Thank you, and enjoy your weekend.
Holiday weekend for some of us. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.